Okay, we'll call the organizational meeting of council to order at 3 p.m. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Walsh that council adopt the agenda for the October 24th, 2022 organizational meeting as presented.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Council appointments to external boards, committees, commissions for the next year. So everything is going to fall into place as listed in the agenda, other than the one that will change in the future is West Winds Communities. There's a scheduling conflict that Councillor Walsh has and needs to have that one moved around. We won't be able to do that today, Brenda, because we've got to do some trading now that we're there. So we got to get the schedule and everything else sorted out as to who can swap a couple around there and fill that in. But so if it's okay with you, we'll approve what we have today, and then we'll deal with that in the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah, I'm happy to accommodate through the change.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from council on the list? Thank you. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Nychuk that council adopt the proposed appointments for external boards, committees, commissions for November 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2023 as follows. It's listed there. I'm not reading it.
Wrong button, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make that motion for your list as presented.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Next item that I do need to deal with before we move on. Actually, no, I'll deal with that right at the very end. So the next one, council appointments to internal boards, committees, commissions. As well, no changes were requested, so it will be as it is in your agenda. Any questions? Ask for a motion from Councillor Smith that council adopt the proposed appointments for internal boards, committees, commissions, November 1st, 2022 to October 31, 2023. As follows. This one's easy. CVAC, Jenny, Higher of Emergency Advisory Committee, Councillor Kinghorn, Councillor Nychuk, and Protective Services Advisory Committee, Councillor Kinghorn, Councillor Nychuk.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Deputy Mayor rotation. Acting Deputy Mayor rotation schedule. Karen, do you want to talk to any of these? Your name's on here, but or can I continue to roll on?
I can talk to this one if you'd like.
You can talk to this one if you want.
So having a set schedule for the deputy mayor and acting deputy mayor ensures that there's clarity around which councillor will chair council meetings in the event that the mayor and/or deputy mayor is absent. This also provides clarity around who can sign documentation in the absence of the mayor and/or deputy mayor. Should council choose to adopt the proposed schedule for February 28th of 2023 to October 23rd, 2023, administration will arrange to have the schedule posted on the town's website. So for November 1st, 2022 to February 28th, 2022, the deputy mayor rotation was set at last year's organizational meeting, and acting deputy mayor rotation has been added to this rotation. For clarity moving forward, this year's deputy mayor and acting deputy mayor rotation will end on next year's organizational meeting date to have a new rotation start for 2023 to 2024. Administration is recommending that council adopt the proposed deputy mayor and acting deputy mayor rotation schedule as outlined.
Thank you. Now, Councillor Nychuk, now that this thing's working, I see your names on here. Was it in regards to this one or the last one? The last one? Go ahead on. Let's deal with that first.
Thanks. Sorry, just for clarification, alternate for the,
Protective Services?
yeah, for protective services. Yeah, is that, I thought the two of us were, is that the way we were going, was alternate? So when Councillor Kinghorn isn't present, then I step in?
That is correct.
Okay, all good. Good luck, Jamie.
Okay, so back to 3.3, Deputy Mayor rotation. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Barton that Council adopt the proposed Deputy Mayor and Acting Deputy Mayor rotation schedule February 28, 2023 to October 23rd, 2023.
You have my motion, Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Internal and External Board Committee reappointments. This one I'll read out as well. It's not that long. So I'll just put the motion out there and we can do questions if needed. Ask for a motion from Councillor Jones that Council approve the proposed Town of High River Board and Committee citizen reappointments from November 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2023. Tricia Rakos to the Subdivision Appeal Board for a 3-year term ending November 1st, 2025. Ian McKenzie to the Subdivision Appeal Board for a 3-year term ending November 1st, 2025. Hank Leefrink to the Assessment Review Board for a 2-year term ending November 1st, 2024. Jim Graham to the Marigold Library Board for a 3-year term ending November 1st, 2025. Lynn Thornton to the Marigold Library Board for a 3-year term ending November 1st, 2025. And that Council will direct administration to advertise openings for the remaining vacancies on the Town of High River Boards and Committees and return to Council at a future date with recommendations.
I'll give you that motion, Mayor Snodgrass.
Thank you. Questions? Somebody beeped, but nothing's showing up. Oop. Oh, you turned it off. That's fantastic. I will quit paying attention to beeps and just look at my screen now that it's working. All in favor? Carried. Regular council meeting, committee of the whole meeting, and strategic priority session schedule for November 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2023. Kieran, do you want to talk to this one as well?
So every year, Council holds the organizational meeting to adopt the meeting schedule for the regular meetings of Council, the Committee of the Whole meetings, and this year we have also included Council strategic priority sessions. Should Council adopt the proposed meeting schedule for the regular meetings of Council, the Committee of the Whole meetings, and strategic priority sessions, administration will communicate these dates to both staff and the community in accordance with the town's public notification bylaw. Administration recommends that Council adopt the proposed schedule for the regular Council meetings, Committee of the Whole meetings, and strategic priority sessions as set out in attachment number 1. I'm now open for any questions.
Questions from Council? Ask for a motion from Councillor Kinghorn that Council adopt the proposed schedule for the regular Council meetings, Committee of the Whole meetings, strategic priority sessions as set out in attachment 1.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. I'll give you that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Done. One final request that came from, for the org meeting, that came from Councillor Kinghorn. You and Nychuk switch. Enjoy your new chair. I know it's not a joke.
This meeting or next meeting?
No, this one right now. Like right now, during the meeting.
Are you going to be able to tell the names apart when we have to speak?
Oh, I'll figure that one out. Can you make sure he's got the right chair?
Make sure no. I'll switch that up.
Would you? slide in a private council joke into the org meeting here for you. But on that note, org meeting adjourned at 3:09 p.m. Record in the province. Good. Okay, we'll call the regular meeting council for October 24th to order at 3:11 p.m. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Walsh that council adopt the agenda for the regular council meeting October 24th as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll give you that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Consent agenda or consent minutes approval. Ask for a motion from Councillor Barton that the following are adopted by omnibus motion in accordance with council's procedure bylaw. The October 11th regular council meeting minutes, October 11th special council meeting minutes, and the strategic priorities chart.
You have my motion, Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Good. Carried. Any public comments before we get started? You're good? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we do have a delegation from Shepherd Family Park, and Marianne Deering is here to present, I understand.
Okay. Okay, I have our president here today too, Carol Knox. She's our current president.
Thanks, Carol.
Okay. I'm just going to pull this closer because my voice is soft. Mr. Mayor and councillors, thank you very much for allowing us to come today before council. Because there's quite a number of new people here, I'd like to begin with an overview of the activities at Shepherd Family Park. And just to bring you up to date, Ruth McCoy lived on the land for 70 years. She moved there with her mother, Evelyn, and her stepfather, Henry Shepherd, in 1925. She never married, she never had children, and she willed 13 acres to the town of High River on her death in November of 1995 to be called Shepherd Family Park, after her stepfather. Several forward-thinking community members and organizations formed a society in December of 1996 to secure the upkeep, repair, maintenance, and operation of the land as a park for the town of High River. The McCoy Homestead has also been designated as a provincial historic resource in October of 2015, that brings us up quickly to today. This last year has seen an increase in activity at Shepherd Family Park, both in having more volunteers return to active participation and in an increase in users of the facilities and grounds. Over 2,700 hours of volunteer time has been clocked to date since our annual meeting in March. Flower beds were planted and tended, grass has been cut, repairs have been made to the facilities, and our accessioning team has displayed artifacts and the school program was revived. Volunteers organized and delivered programs this last year, including Heritage Day, our Threshing Day, our Little Bow School program, our Flower Garden Tour, which was co-sponsored by Rotary and the Museum of the Highwood, and we had a rededication of the McCoy Cabin as the final restoration and display of artifacts has been completed since the flood. Our attendance at Heritage Day was 200 plus. Our Old Time Threshing Day, we had 400 adults and 200 children. Our school program has included 11 groups of about 24 children a session, so 260 students came to spend a one day in our Little Bow School. 90 people attended our rededication, many who had assisted the park in the very early days. We had 100 people view the McCoy Perennial Garden and 9 other beautiful gardens in the community on the Rotary-sponsored garden tour. Many events were booked in the Monroe Barn and Yard, including weddings, anniversaries, and celebrations of life, which generated funds for the society. The society employed a summer student who worked on our social media platforms and assisted with tours and promotional materials for the park events. Over 200 individuals found Shepherd Family Park via the internet and were escorted and provided with information about the park history by our summer student and other volunteers. Our community garden provided 36 households with the opportunity to grow their own vegetables, and they have the added benefit at the park to store their root vegetables in the root cellar for the winter. Our community garden has existed since 2001, over 20 years. One of our volunteers, who happens to be here today, planted potatoes around the community garden, and supplied the local food bank with 1,250 pounds of potatoes this year. Volunteers completed minor repairs to fences, painted railings, did minor storage construction, improved signage, cleaned and kept clean buildings on the site, watered our fruit trees, painted picnic benches and garbage cans, attended board meetings, revised our bylaws, and worked with town staff on the community facility license agreement. Over the last 26 years, the Society has completed the repair and maintenance of the 13-acre parcel with minimal support from the town. We do thank the town staff for assisting with the repair and restoration of the McCoy Cabin, the Monroe Barn, and the Custodian's House after the flood. Most of the work on the other outbuildings, like the Little Bow School, the workshop, the McDougall House, and the garden fencing, were completed and funded by the Society through grant monies, casino revenue, revenue from rentals, and volunteer skills and resourcefulness. This brings us to our second item for today, and that's the Community Facility License Agreement. This agreement, which was signed in February of 2022, states that the town of High River will pay for insurance on the structures at the park in paragraph 12.3. Last year, that amounted to $3,800. The Society maintain our own liability and contents insurance. But up until this time, the Society has been paying for the structure insurance and would like to have that covered in the town budget. Our paragraph 12.3 is similar to that of all the other community facility agreements, like the museum, the library, the Highwood Centre, and that is covered by the town. The Society understood that it needed to come to council for this request so that the administration staff and council were on the same page for this to be included in the town budget. We believe the insurance on the structure should be paid by the owners of the structure. The Society over the years, the Society has over the years not requested funds on a regular basis, as it did have some seed monies, $25,000 in 1996 to complete maintenance over the years. The Society has used any funds it managed to generate and receive in a very careful manner. Those funds have been long stretched, and the Society is very proud of our accomplishments, but we need to look to the future of the park and how to keep it maintained. This brings us to our third point on our delegation sheet, annual funding. We've provided you with a profit and loss statement to the end of August, which shows our income and expenses, and the Society does not operate a large budget. We have had a very successful Threshing Day event this year and have a casino opportunity January 1st and 2nd of 2023, which hopefully will generate some funds for future projects. The Society would like to be able to count on an amount each year to compensate for our efforts to maintain the park in the condition which we have displayed over the last 26 years. We understand that there may be a policy for user groups that has yet to be determined, but we wish to be considered along with the other user groups under a fee-for-service or grant-and-aid policy, which we understand is being formulated. Our fourth point is, how do we apply for upgrades to the facility and grounds? We have ideas for upgrades to the facilities and grounds, and we seek clarification on how to apply for approval and financial support for these upgrades. A Shepherd Family Park master plan was initiated at our request in 2012, but was halted when the park's planner moved, and then all went by the wayside for the flood. The Society was not consulted during the development of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan of 2021, other than as individuals. So we're unsure as to which category of parks we actually fit. Moving forward, Shepherd Family Park Society seeks to collaborate with the town to create a master plan ensuring that future planning at Shepherd Family Park is in line with the town's vision while maintaining the legacy of our benefactor, Ruth McCoy. The Society wishes to thank the town staff for their efforts to work some support into their budgets to help maintain the park. The Society is made up of volunteers, and we've all put in many unaccounted for hours into the work and maintenance of the facility, and we're very proud of it. As the town grows, we can see the importance of safeguarding and maintaining the park for the people of the town, and some annual financial support could help us achieve this goal. Thank you again for allowing us to come to council and express our thoughts.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Questions from council? Chris, do you mind speaking to the three items? I don't have them in front of me. I'm trying to get this thing rolling. As far as the budget requests and timelines, et cetera.
Certainly, Mayor Snodgrass, I can speak to a couple of the items on the list as it relates to budgetary items. As we're going into our budget process, what we would ask from Shepherd Family Park Society is to provide a list of annual maintenance and grounds maintenance that they would like to be included within the budget as part of that fee-for-service arrangement. As well as when we talk about a fee-for-service arrangement, while the framework is still not being adopted by council, the intent is to have a fee-for-service in relation to a deliverable of service to the community. And so given that this group should give that some thought of what that actual deliverable looks like. Is there specifics that need to be part of that deliverable? And as we enter into negotiations of a fee-for-service, if this is a group that's chosen to go down that path in the future, that we would understand what those specifics actually are and what that agreement would be. The fee-for-service arrangement, the concept that we've been talking about and working towards is looking at a term agreement. So it's not year to year. It would be for a defined period of time so that there would not be a request for funding coming forward on an annual basis, but it would be on a 3-year or a 5-year term, depending whatever council approved within that agreement process. And it would give the groups that qualified for fee-for-service the opportunity to leverage funds from other granting agencies because they have dedicated funding for moving forward with. So when it comes to the fee-for-service, it's still kind of in concept. Council's still got to approve the policy framework later this in November, early December, and then we'll be negotiating with the community groups through January that would qualify for that fee-for-service framework. As it relates to the insurance aspect of things, we can take that forward as part of the budget request and have that consistently applied, and would make any amendments to the facility license agreement as required. And of course, the list of upgrades for facility and grounds, we'd love to see that list before budget so we can understand what that is. Is there major significant capital repairs that need to be undertaken so that we can budget for it instead of having it come to us at a later date that we have to wait an extra year from that perspective. So timing that for the early fall from that perspective would be ideal from a staffing perspective so we can build the business case and the details for council to approve to that process. I think that's, Mayor Snodgrass, that's all the requests that have come forward.
Does that clarify the three? Carol? Marianne?
Who should we give that list of
can
projects to?
Forward that list. You can forward that list to Jody. Jody would be the best person to forward that list, who can circulate it.
Actually, Khalid would be the best person
Khalid.
as the
That's correct.
liaison.
Yeah,
please.
Khalid's the best person. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and
Jody.
If we have any further,
You have to press. Yeah. The second last one.
sorry.
Oops. Yes.
Am I on now? Sorry. If we have further questions specifically to the 3 areas you talked about, can we just send you an email or get clarification on that? Or through Khalid again? Doesn't matter to us, just so we can be clear.
Certainly, yes. If you have any questions that come up, and you know, we're still in the concept stage,
Yes.
and still hasn't been adopted by council.
Yes.
There could be changes along the way, but send those questions through to Khalid, and Khalid and senior leadership can sit down and talk those through and provide you those answers.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So there's the insurance issue, then the annual funding that we need to sort out, and that's an easy one.
Future projects and
Yeah.
upgrades for facility and grounds.
And then the capital piece of,
So there's the 3 different areas.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
And
my understanding anyway from what you're talking about.
Mm.
And we have, Kevin Albert is in charge of the buildings that belong to the town, in terms of maintenance and costs incurred there. And then Darlene Donovan is in charge of the facility parks. Have I got that correct?
Yep.
So they would be looped into that conversation through Khalid in terms of the direction or affirmation or questions that we have or they have
Okay.
in regards, I think. Okay, thank you
That's
very
Easy
much.
done.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks, Carol. Thanks very much, Marianne.
Okay.
Into the business portion, shared service agreement with Foothills County. Chris.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. So this agreement has been underway for quite some time, since about 2018 that it was first initiated. In 2019, a draft came forward to council for at the IMC level, as well as to the whole council in the fall of 2019. Once the COVID pandemic hit, it kind of paused. And it paused and then was reprioritized in early 2021 that the focus was on negotiating a water and wastewater agreement with the county and making sure that was the priority until we got that negotiated, then these other agreements would fall into place. So this agreement that you see before you today would be constituting our intermunicipal collaboration framework, and it includes additional services like recreation, including the arena, the aquatics, and programming. And there's some new aspects of things. Programming being one of the new aspects of things that we will now receive funding from the county. Library services, which is a new service that we would see funding coming from the county. Recycling services as well for the recycling center that the county members, residents use, as well as cemetery services. It does involve the renewal of the fire services agreement, which has seen no substantive change, and we see about a 25% funding allocation coming from the county towards that service. And they also fund some of our capital programs as well, including the water tender. So the new agreement would fit within that municipal intercollaborative framework and would see approximately over the term starting about just over $1 million in 2022 and rising to just over $1.2 million in 2025 as part of the agreement. It is, in our view, a fair start. I won't say it's perfect. I think there's always going to be some learnings that take place through some of these agreements on some of the new shared services. But we do have to recognize that some of the residents within the county do use our services, and it's either funding a funding formula like this through a shared service arrangement or setting two-tiered fee systems associated with those kind of uses as well. So council has before you 3 options. One, to proceed with the recommendation and authorize the execution of the agreements as you see. Proceed with not to support the recommendation and direct us to negotiate something different. Or some other framework that is not an agreement, or we can refer this committee a whole for further conversation and discussion with all members of council.
God, no.
Mayor Snodgrass, we're recommending that we proceed with the agreements as proposed, get them underway. Since we've signed the water agreement back in July, I believe, of this year, we've got that underway already, and it seems to be working well. We feel that it's time to move forward with the rest of the shared services. Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass.
Thanks, Chris. And I agree. It's waiting around for this thing to be perfect is not going to happen. We will end up with nothing for another 5 years. So it's a starting point, and that's what you got to do with lots of this stuff is just get started on it and learn as you go, and we can always make adjustments in collaboration with the county. So questions from Councillor Nychuk.
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Not here to debate the intent of the services agreement. Just a quick question through to Chris. The 5-year increase looks to me to be about a 3.8, 3.9% increase over the 5 years. Are we comfortable with that in today's economic environment that we're going to? It follows suit with what we're seeing happening right now.
Yeah, Mayor Snodgrass, through you to Councillor Nychuk. Finance took a look at the numbers, and we applied a simple 2% cost of living based upon the average over the last 20 years to come to those numbers. We feel that that's a starting point. We feel that it's fair. We feel that moving forward, all these formulas will be examined again on an annual basis when we bring it back to IMC. As well as at the end of the term as well. So we think it's a point to start forward. We think it's fair. We think it's something that we didn't, on some of these programs, it's something that we didn't have previously. And so that's a good starting point for us. And for others, we maintain the status quo, and we receive that standardized funding that we've always received for fire services, for example, and the other recreation aspects of things that aren't new to the program. So we think it's fair.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe my math was wrong. I just looked at the numbers that were provided in the 2022 totaling, and it seemed like it was closer to 4 than 2. But anyway, if you guys are comfortable with it, I guess at the end of the 5 years, if we've got some historical data and it's been that volatile that we aren't capturing growth from that inflationary level, then we can revisit it then. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Ask for a motion from Councillor Nychuk. The council approve the shared services agreement for a 5-year term beginning January 1st, 2022, and the mayor and CAO be authorized to execute the agreement.
Mr. Mayor, I'll give you that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Board and committee reports. Anything anybody who wants to share? Councillor Kinghorn?
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. Just to bring council up to speed on what's been going on with the High River Regional Airport Board, a meeting that was held a couple of days ago. The position of treasurer was withdrawn from the organization and changed to a director position. And the county has agreed to voluntarily do all the bookkeeping for the High River Regional Airport. Thank you.
Excellent news. Councillor Nychuk?
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Not a board or committee report, but we don't really have a councillors section. We have a public comment section, so I'm gonna throw this in here, and this is related to Rimrock and the smell in High River. So I've got a bunch of information here that somebody has put a significant amount of time, effort, and energy into from our community. Darwin Robinson, who some of you may or may not know, Darwin stood on that side during the 2 delegations that we had. Anyway, Darwin's put a whole bunch of information together. I would like any councillors to have it if you would like to have it. I think I can give it to Jody. It can be digitized and probably sent to you guys instead of this volume of paper. So if anybody wants it, how about you just shoot Jody an email and she'll know you want it, and then I can give her this package, and then whoever wants to see it can have a review of it. There is a group that met last Monday. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend, but I heard it was about 50 people, being some of our residents, some of the county residents that were getting together just to discuss as citizens of the area for the betterment of it. My understanding is that Delilah Miller attended as well, and indicated that she would be going back to her council to speak about it as well. So I know we can't facilitate direct change as a council, but being involved in speaking up for our residents is something that we are all entrusted to do. So if you want this information, it'll be there for you. Thank you.
No, is that one package or is that 7? One for all of us?
No, this is one package. This is the package I was given to me because he felt I was expressing interest in helping to make the situation better. So not that all the rest of council wasn't interested as well, but I've had some conversation with him. He has now gone south for the winter, so he's entrusted me with all of this that he put together. I will be contacting a lady tomorrow afternoon that seemingly was heading this group up that collaborated on Monday. So I'll keep you guys abreast of any of that kind of stuff. But some interesting things in here in regards to all of it. And just if you want it, it's available. So the more education we can have on the situation, the better, and hopefully make some help to facilitate some changes for our community and our residents in terms of appreciating the great outdoors.
Thanks. Jody will figure out how to get that to us. Thanks, Michael. Councillor Walsh.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. The information that was shared out to you is in reference to the same meeting. Another resident of High River brought a little bit smaller package to myself. So it's all the same meeting that happened on Monday.
Good. And that one we already have. That one has been shared to us. So. Anybody else? Any public comments? Did we come up with anything that you want to, hey? It's just. Councillor Walsh again.
Thank you, sorry. I just wanted to share that I had the opportunity to join the Cairo blanket exercise at the High River United Church on Saturday. And if you ever are afforded the opportunity to participate in one of these, it's powerful. I'm most grateful that I got to go. I won't go into all the details of the event, but it was really, really great.
Cool. Thanks for going to that. No one else? Council correspondence, just for information. National Advisory Council on Poverty, recent Alberta Municipalities Convention, Calgary, and Call to Action RMA. Interest check for Mayor Snodgrass. Sorry, what was that one for? On what? I'm having trouble with my agenda, but I can scroll to it. You remember, Karen? Oh, that's the Police Federation thing, right? Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. No other questions, comments? Nothing? Kinghorn, you're enjoying yourself? All good? Appreciate it. Meeting adjourned,
I just
3:41.
don't have anything to say right now.